All right, episode 2.
Yeah,
Ghosties.
yeah, talking about spookies.
Spookies.
I just want to start off by saying ghosts are a complicated topic because y- you could go both ways. There's some like science behind it, and in some cases it's just people saying like, "Oh, I experienced this." So there's a lot to talk about here. Um, do you ever watch those ghost hunting shows?
Yeah, I mean, you remember when we were growing up, I was super into ghost hunters because it scared
Yeah, but
us.
yeah, but that was like, I mean, did you like watch all of them though, or just like the
We watched it
all of them?
all, like, we watched all of them. Yeah.
Well, cause I only remember one of them,
The prison.
and no, I mean like one team,
Oh, yeah.
cause
Yeah,
there's tons of different teams.
once that team started to change, we didn't watch it anymore.
Yeah, and I mean they have all those like EMF readers and stuff like that, all those tools.
Apparently, it's still a
Yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah,
That show
it
is still a
definitely is.
thing, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they like, I think ghost hunting has been a thing for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like the tools they have, where they can sort of say, "Oh yeah, this is how we know it's legit," and this and that. Um, but I don't think any of those tools are legit. Okay. But
Like spirit boxes, EMF readers.
yeah, I do think that sometimes they encounter stuff, but like sometimes they try way too hard and they'll hear a noise and they go, "Oh,
Well, I mean,
that was a
let's
spirit."
just be honest. Like, I would guarantee at least like 99% of the stuff of that show is just straight
Yeah.
up fake.
Yeah. But
At least,
sometimes, bro,
if not 100.
sometimes it's a little scary.
Yeah, because I mean, they purposely make it creepy. You know, they use scary
Yeah.
music and
Well, I'm not sure if they, because I mean, it's been years since I've watched that show, but did they ever like make a distinction between like the different types of ghosts, or was it just,
oh
oh,
yeah,
that's a ghost?
they'll talk about how they think it's a demon or stuff like that.
Because there's what are those ones that like throw stuff all over the place?
Poltergeist.
Poltergeists, yeah. And that stuff's scary. Like if that ever happened to me, I'd move out of like wherever that place is instantly. Like,
So let's go ahead and just ask the question that everybody wants to know. Do you think you've ever experienced anything paranormal? Because
um,
I have one story.
I have one as well. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Doesn't matter.
I can go
It's
first.
your show. No.
It's not technically my. Okay, anyways, so I think this was like a little bit after he moved out. I was in like seventh grade at the time. Um, I remember just
He's
laying.
6 years younger than me, by the way. People don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So I was laying in bed, and I think it was a school night too. So I was trying to sleep, and it
Yeah.
was pretty late, and out of nowhere, like the room just got super. It felt like it was windy. Okay, and my windows were closed because I remember you used to always have them open, and I hated that.
Oh, dude,
Um,
I love
now
sleeping when it's cold.
I do it now. I do it now,
I
but back then
sleep.
I didn't do it.
I get pissed when it's too warm.
Me too. I get all sweaty and it's gross. Anyways,
Yeah.
so but I'm laying there and like it just gets windy all of a sudden in my room, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? And of course, at that age, I was like, I don't know what to do. I literally just laid there and I closed my eyes and I kept them closed as tight as I could. And then I remember, and I don't know if the game was out at the time. You know that stupid game Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah. Yeah, the one where
Did you,
like the animatronic things are trying to kill you, right?
yeah. So I
Yeah.
swear I heard a little kid say hi, and it sounded like, in hindsight, I don't remember if the game was out at the time, but it sounded just like the that like balloon kid from the second game. Scared the crap out of me, and I feel like it lasted for like half an hour. Okay. The thing is though, I don't know if it was ghosts. Okay, because next day I go to school and I mentioned it to one of my friends. He goes, have you been drinking a lot of Gatorade? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, that's why. And I was like, what the heck, man? Like, how would you even know that? So I don't know if it was ghosts or if it was like some weird like reaction to drinking too much Gatorade, but I don't know, man. That's the most that I've ever experienced. Are you muted?
Sorry. Drinking too much Gatorade.
I don't know, man.
How is
He
that
was
even
onto
a thing?
something though. I don't know, because I remember I was drinking a ton of Gatorade at the time. I don't know why
Like
that
what?
would
Too
have.
much electrolytes.
Maybe there's something like maybe it's too much sugar or something like that, or I don't
Okay,
know.
here's what I was. Were you half asleep?
Maybe I don't know, dude. It was
Okay,
a long time ago.
because anytime I talk about paranormal stuff, I always bring up the fact that I've gotten sleep paralysis before. I haven't had it in a long time, but
I've had it once.
sleep paralysis, right, is like where
Mhm.
you fall asleep, but then you kind of like wake up, and you're in between where like your brain is asleep and kind of in the dream state, but you're also awake enough to like see and hear. But because your brain is half dreaming, or like you're dreaming at the same time, you kind of hallucinate a little bit, and you see things and hear things that aren't there, like people or sounds, just things that aren't there, but it's because your brain is kind of like dreaming, but you're awake.
Yeah, it's
Like
like you're the
you know that you're asleep. It's very strange.
the
Um,
chemicals that like keep you from moving while you're asleep and acting out your dreams. They're still there, and so are the actual chemicals that like make you dream. And
mhm.
so it's all that while you're still kind of awake.
Yeah,
So like it's a weird feeling.
it only happens when I'm super super stressed, and I'm not talking about like, oh, I have an assignment due tomorrow. Like when I was in the military, it would be like I have a test tomorrow, and if I fail it, like the last 3 months of like studying that I did was for nothing. Like I have to basically start over, like all the tests that I took. So it was like I don't want to say life or death, but it was a different type of stress. It was like the type of stress where it's like you're just like super let down if you don't do things right. So like that amount of stress combined with sleeping on my back, I guess it happens to most people when they're sleeping on their back.
Yeah.
I would fall asleep on my couch because I lived alone, so like it didn't really matter if I slept on the bed or not. Like sometimes I would just fall asleep watching TV, and so I'd be laying down, and then like I would wake up and try to move and not be able to, and I would start to panic, and then all of a sudden I start hearing like screaming and like seeing like shadows and stuff like that. But I knew that it was sleep paralysis, but I couldn't get it to stop. You know what I mean? Like, and it feels like forever too. It feels like it's happening forever, but in
Yeah.
reality, it's like seconds, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Um,
Well, eh, so are you saying that you
I'm
haven't
saying that I think a
experienced?
lot of people have experiences, and they say that a lot of times it's probably some type of sleep paralysis type thing where like they're not like fully awake, and so they're seeing things that aren't there. But I stayed at Nana's house. So we call
Oh
Nana.
no.
Nana is our grandma on my stepfather's side,
Right.
um, and it's a very old house by some railroad tracks that, um, I guess back when it's a very old house. It's all wooden, and back during like times when people were working on the railroad and stuff like that, like I don't know, early 1900s, people would stay there like it was kind of like a lodge or something. Like it was like I don't know if they said somebody, I can't remember what Nana said. It was like somebody lived there and they like rented out like two rooms, and one room was the one that got turned into like the front room and stuff like that. Because there's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's correct either. I'm kind of talking out of my ass because I don't remember everything.
Right.
But anyways, very old house. People used to stay there. People died working on the railroad tracks and stuff. Things like that. Like all kinds of stuff happened back then. And because of that, my family and especially Nana was convinced that the place was haunted as hell. And I used to stay over there all the time with our cousin. I don't I don't want to give out names. But anyways, I would stay over there, you know, hanging out with my cousin, stay the night, and there would be times where we would hear noises, but we just kind of brushed it off. But there was one night where, and I remember it was around Christmas time because of Christmas lights. I remember seeing the Christmas lights, like that was the only light in the house because like all the lights were off. But like we were watching a movie. We were watching like one of the diehards or something, and all of a sudden the family dog just starts growling at the door, and then we hear these loud footsteps and like the floor creaking because it's all wooden. And then it just got louder and louder, and then it sounded like it stopped at the door. The door was closed, and then the dog just started barking at the door, and then all of a sudden it just stopped, got dead quiet, and we were freaked out. We like didn't even like. I think the reason I say I remember the Christmas lights is because I think it happened. It happened a little bit once, and we opened the door and like looked out. And we didn't see nothing. We just see like the Christmas lights. Like everything else is dark. And so we're freaked out. We close the door, and then it happens again. But this time it was so loud, and the dog started growling and barking that we were like, "Screw that! Like, we're leaving the door closed." You know what I mean? Like we were like, "Let's go to sleep." Like we are scared. I mean, I think I was a freshman in high school when this happened, freshman or sophomore. Um, but the next morning, Nana wakes us up and says, "Did you guys set the table?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Well, the cabinets were open and there's plates and silverware on the table."
I don't remember that part of the story. That's probably wanted to freak me out when I was a little kid, but geez, man, screw that.
I mean, I was always convinced that maybe she was pulling a prank on us because we woke her up, you
Uh,
know, the first time that we heard something. Because we did. We woke her up. We walked out, looked around, and we were like, "It sounds like somebody's walking around." She's like, "Oh, I'll go to sleep," you know? Like, I think almost like maybe she was kind of freaked out too, and like didn't like she didn't like that we were like scaring her, you know? And then so like I always thought like maybe she just was trying to scare us, you know? But
man,
I
she
don't know,
would
I was
do
scared.
that.
And there
I
was
think she would
another
do that.
time. There was another time where I was washing my hands, and this was like Thanksgiving or something. So everybody was over. It was like Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving. Everybody
Probably
was
Thanksgiving.
over, and I went to wash my hands. You remember that little bathroom in our cousin's room?
Yeah, yeah.
So I went to wash my hands, and then I heard a knock on the door, and the door opened. And I was like, "Hey, I'm in here," or whatever, you know. I was like, "What do you want?" And like nobody was there. And then I walked out and I said something, and Mama, Dad, everybody was just like, "Oh, be quiet," whatever. Like just paranoid because not always says the house is haunted. So those are the two things that I've had happen, and they were both at Nana's house. Which, if any place that we've been to is going to be haunted, it would be that place because that house is so old.
Who was it that said they played with the Ouija board and then they saw like a demon in the bathroom or something like that?
I don't remember.
Because I remember hearing that story. What do you think of those though? I think those are like
Ouija
100%
boards?
fake. Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard all kinds of stories. I heard I same our cousin was at a friend's house, and well, no. This is never mind. Not our cousin. Um I'll say a name because I don't think anybody,
Mhm.
it's just a friend. Do you remember Henry?
Oh man, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Yeah, I remember Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um a group of friends that I hung out with, Oscar was another friend. He ended up joining the military. So I don't know if you remember him. He was
No.
older. I think he was a senior when I was a freshman or a sophomore. They were at a birthday party, and they pulled out a Ouija board, and like lights went out and like balloons popped or something. And so they were like, "We don't mess with Ouija boards anymore," because they always like joked around about it. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, could totally be fake. I mean, I'll never go near one, man.
I mean,
That's
that's how Mama is.
sketchy,
She's like,
bro.
you don't like why try to invite something, like
Yeah.
that. Like you're looking for trouble, you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's a ton of stuff with ghosts where I'm just kind of like I don't even know the scope of like what actually is out there. Like I know they always joke about like ectoplasm or whatever it is. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Like
Ectoplasm.
yeah, like I don't know what that's supposed to represent.
Okay,
But
the stupidest evidence of ghosts I've ever seen: orbs.
yeah, it's just dust.
Oh my gosh, we saw an orb. It's just like a bug or something reflecting off a light because
Yeah.
it's some.
Night vision
Some
camera. Yeah.
Android night vision ass camera.
um, there's that. I mean, what's really scary is when you see like shapes of like people in like pictures and stuff like that, where it's like you can tell there's not an actual person there. It's just like it's in the shape of a person, and you're like, okay,
It's
what
kind
the
of like
heck
a
is that?
shadowy mass or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is that
So,
stuff's creepy.
okay, so the one thing I have the problem I have with ghosts and the paranormal and stuff like that is that at a certain point you have to start questioning like spiritual stuff because there's like demons are supposed to be fallen angels and stuff like that, and
Hmm.
you know um to me it's like you can measure, so like I'm pretty sure scientists have been able to measure like not a soul, but like okay, so if somebody's straight up brain dead, right? Like they're literally like they're
Right.
on a machine, they have to breathe, like the machine breathes for them, all that stuff. They are still able to measure the energy that you're alive, and to scientists are like that's like your soul is like they can still measure the energy that is in your body. Okay, like your heart beating, all that stuff like that. That you're still there. Okay. Energy is not created nor destroyed. So when you die, where does that energy go? Because at the
I
end of
have
the
a
day,
theory.
all your nerve and all your nerves and your central nervous system is all stimulated by a little like almost is it electric impulses and stuff like that? Like it's energy. There's energy in your body.
I Okay. Here's what I'm gonna say. When somebody dies, the first thing that happens is they crap their pants.
Yes, but that's because their
Right.
muscles aren't getting that stimulation anymore. The energy
Yeah, they aren't
leaves.
getting energy. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
and
I'm
so
saying.
all your muscles relax, including your sphincter or whatever the heck it's called.
You're a sphincter, yeah. Well, okay. Because
Sphincter
oh,
or sphincter? Sphincter.
sphincter, it's SPH.
Your butthole.
Uh, yeah.
Your butthole muscles.
Anus, yeah. Um, because I feel like I remember hearing from somewhere, and of course, like I don't know how true this is, but they measured like, well, they had like a scale that someone was like laying on, right? And when they died, um, like the weight went down by like at least a little bit, which
Enough
I
to
mean,
measure.
yeah, I mean, of course, it's kind of hard to say because like um, if you put one drop of water in a measuring cup, like that's still something changed, but like it's kind of hard to measure how much changed unless you have the right tools. So it had to have been like a really specific scale, right? Like it had to have a certain amount of digits on there for the decimal places
Right.
to measure
Yeah.
something that small. And
Extremely
so it's
precise
like
tools. Yeah.
exactly. And so it something could have like maybe there was like some dead skin cells that finally fell out the person's hand when they died or something like that. It's like, oh, was that their soul? And it's like, no, it's just something like something fell out of their hand or something like that, and it was just some dust or something. I don't know. Like,
Okay. Like, so the thing that because people are always like, oh, ghosts are like people who like got trapped between the spirit plane or whatever, and it's like,
yeah,
I mean, okay, demons are scary because demons, the whole intention of demons is literally just to terrorize people. Like they're evil spirits, right? Fallen angels, whatever you want to call them. And so like obviously that's why like horror movies and stuff like that always focus on that is because that's scary intentionally. Whereas like, ghost movies, sometimes they turn out to not be like The Sixth Sense. Like things were scary, but then you realize, oh no, it's just people who are like trying to pass something on so they can move on,
yeah,
you know? And so there's those two ideas is that like there's no such thing as ghosts, it's only demons, you know? Like the idea
yeah.
that like demons might try to pretend to be somebody
Oh,
to
screw
mess with
that.
you.
Screw that. That. Oh,
Isn't that messed
ugh.
up?
I don't like that. That's ugh. But I'm gonna have a hard time sleeping tonight, man. Um,
uh,
well, you got people around you, bro. Like, I don't know. But
the
uh,
thing is though is like dogs and cats are apparently like
sensitive
they're
to.
very
Yeah.
sensitive to energy. Like that's part of the reason why they can sense when like somebody's at the door before they knock. Is because like they're just
Yeah.
like very alert to movement and
So those EMF readers or whatever that they use in like ghost hunting, the reason why they use those because EMF is just electromagnetic field, right? That's what that stands for. Actually, let me look it up. I'm pretty sure it's yeah.
yeah, it measures
Um,
energy.
yeah. Well, the thing is, like when an earthquake's about to happen, right?
Geiger counter.
Or no, what the no.
Wait, what
Geiger,
is
Geiger,
Geiger
Geiger
counter
counter for
is
radiation. It's
radiation.
radiation. Yeah.
Uh,
An earthquake, you're on. Get the Geiger counter.
what check for radiation. The earth's shaking. No, what's it called? For when there's an earthquake, what's the little
A
thing that goes?
seismometer. A
Yeah,
seismometer. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, because what I'm saying is like stuff like
seismometer,
that.
Geiger counter.
Um, yeah, it's completely
I had to
blanking.
carry one of those, and that's sad that I don't even.
Um, but so my thing is like, if they're gonna sense something, and like, I mean, actually, I think a better example is birds. The way they know where to go is because of magnetic fields.
Hmm.
Okay, and
That's how
so
they can
if an
fly in
animal,
formations and stuff, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Partly.
Um, and I'm pretty sure most animals are sensitive to magnetic fields. I think we are too, but not to that extent, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Isn't that
and so
Isn't that why they say like sometimes people can tell like when like you get the feeling of being watched, like the hairs stand up in the back of your neck and stuff like that. It's like some kind of disturbance in that. Like the
I
same
don't
thing.
know.
It's almost I've because I feel like I've had the same feeling before. I feel like I was being watched in public, and I
Mm,
turned and like some stranger was like eyeballing like my backpack or something. You know, like in San Francisco where people will try and rob you. You know what I mean?
yeah, the
Like
place is a wasteland
yeah,
now. Yeah.
I'm saying that that feeling is very similar to like when because like we have carpet here and like I hate you could tell when you're about to be shocked, you know, by like static
Yeah, there's that
electricity.
slight.
It's a
Yeah,
very similar feeling.
that's an interesting point. I thing is though, I don't think people will do experiments on that. Like, I would love to see if they can find out if that's true. It's just that whenever you bring up the idea of like testing something that's kind of like ghosty, right? People go, "Get that out of here, man. This is university. Get that out of here. Like that's garbage, right?"
Yeah.
And I mean, because I think there's something to that because I completely agree. Like, yeah, it's a very similar feeling where it's there's like an indirect connection there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, that's a good point. I would say
It's weird.
because the point that I was going to get to is when birds can sort of like use magnetic fields to go somewhere, and it sounds like I'm talking about like nonsense, but no, birds can actually do that.
The birds aren't real, by the
Um,
way. They're
that's another episode.
that cuz yeah,
Um,
birds aren't real. So.
um, but that's why they would do EMF, right? Because electromagnetic magnetic fields would be included in that, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the same field, right? Um,
I can't stand when people are on those ghost hunting shows are like I feel like I'm being watched right now.
or yeah,
And
it's like
the music's like ding, all creepy
well,
and you're like
you know what? Okay, how about this? Because I'm actually genuinely like I don't get how they did this. Maybe it's them, doing this on purpose, right? But when they would do like those things, did you hear that? Like they'll say they heard something on a recording and they'll play it and you hear like a slight voice. It's like, okay, either someone was whispering on purpose or it's something legit. But
yeah, like like I just picture them like on the set. They're like, all right, so you guys are gonna film this scene. Like you walk down this hall, and one of you is gonna say, "Did you hear that?" And we'll take care of the rest. And you're like, oh, okay, okay. And then like later on, like some dude's in the editing room, and he's like, oh, God. He grabs the thing. He's like, leave now. You know, like
yeah, that's the thing is like I feel bad because it's like they're trying to spice it up because sometimes it's really freaking boring. Like when you have an hour of just like people walking around a
Okay.
prison and nothing
So
happens.
yeah, well, there's been episodes. So there's a few episodes where there's been footage, and like they like especially Ghost Hunters. I know there's at least two videos that have been widely disputed because it's like if they did fake it, like how did they do it? Because like
Hmm.
that show does not have the budget for like CGI that would make that look as good as it does. Because there's the prison one where it looks like something runs up and then runs away. That one's famous. You know what I'm talking about?
Dude, I was like
Okay,
7
let me pull it
when
up.
you
Well, we'll go to
yeah.
screen share. Let me or let me find it first. We can talk. And then there's another one where the chair moves in the lighthouse. And
That one
like
I remember. That one
yeah.
I remember. That one's creepy. Um,
So
I,
Eastern
I,
State Penitentiary is super well known for being haunted
yeah,
AF.
I haven't. I don't remember that first one. But I definitely remember the second one. And that
I'm
one I
pretty
remember
sure
being
they
weird.
showed that footage in the BuzzFeed Unsolved one.
Do you want me to screen share for this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because we had it set up for that. So
So this is not even on like Ghost Hunters. Like this is like they showed it on Ghost Hunters, but some people say that they got the footage from something else. Like they didn't even it's not even their footage. They pretended it was theirs.
which is
Um
a little sketch, but
Scummy. But it would
uh,
make sense because it's this it's okay. Okay, so type in Eastern State Prison Ghost and it should pop up for you. It's like a 20-second video.
you said it was. Oh yeah, 21 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
let
my
me.
uh-oh.
Your camera just.
Yeah, it's frozen AF. Hold up.
Um. Me.
All right, sorry, little technical difficulties, but we're back. Okay, you got it
Okay.
ready?
I believe so.
Okay,
Do
so
you?
this is the
There's no
footage I'm
sound,
talking
right?
about. Yeah, yeah, you're good. Just hit play.
All right.
So this footage is widely disputed because it's just very strange, and like check this out. Do you see that?
The heck was that? Oh no,
It's
dude.
like something runs up and then runs away, but it happens so
Ah,
fast. Yeah, look, something
what
from
the
Ghost Hunters comes
heck?
up next. But
Screw that, dude. What the heck did I just watch?
it's so weird and
Dude, it
like
looks like a cloud of like, like you know how like when you have a dust storm and you see like that huge gust of wind, it looks like that,
yeah, but
but
did you
like
see? It
it's
almost looks like
inside.
something in a cloak or something. But it like
It looks like a
moves.
cloud, dude.
By the time you see it, it like moves away again.
Yeah, because the weird part is the fact that like it changes direction.
Yeah, like well,
That's the
it looks
scary
like
part.
it. The thing is like like it. You can't tell whether it's forwards or backwards, but it moves forwards and then backwards, like it ran up and turned around, but it doesn't. Like it stays the same shape and form. Like I don't know. You know what I mean? It's very strange.
It
Um,
says, I mean, yeah, 2008.
but it looks
So
like a figure.
someone said when you have 3% battery, but then you forget the charger.
Like it runs over.
That's so
Yeah.
freaking creepy, dude.
Yeah,
Because
that's
okay,
like the only video I've seen where I was like,
the
all
thing
right,
is
I
though,
don't know
like
how they faked that if they did.
you might be right about the cloak thing because to me, like now that I'm rewatching it, it looks like if they did do that where it was faked with like a cloak, they just sped it up, but the dust doesn't move
The
at the same
dust doesn't
speed.
move. And then not only that,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, like you got to understand that like they do there's movies where ghosts do things like that and it looks like shit and they have millions of dollars to use like to spend on the
yeah.
CGI. So some Joe Schmo with a video camera did not fake that. And then like Ghost Hunters doesn't have enough money to fake that cuz I've never seen any CGI like that.
Yeah. Well, cause like I said, it literally looks like when we get dust storms and like you see a gust of wind,
But
but
you see
that
the outline of a figure.
I just think the scary part is the fact that it changes direction because that's it should okay. Because for me, there's two things that do that, and it's like the tides, and then like living things. That's it. And the
Oh, I get what you're
tides are
saying,
not,
yeah.
yeah, where
Yeah.
it'll go forwards and back,
Yeah.
but
It
yeah,
is, it's
like
like that, it's like the water on a beach, like, coming in and going
yeah,
out, yeah.
but
And so, like,
yeah,
some people say it's like that a lot of things that people see like that, where it's like a figure or something like that, it's like a it's so, there's also the theory that, like, when something traumatic happens to a person, or, like, somebody dies, something like that, that energy, like, there's so much energy, like, being transferred between humans, like, hurting each other, killing each other, all that stuff, that it almost leaves, like, an imprint in time. And, like, I think that's a way out there theory, but it's almost like you're seeing a part of, like,
the past.
yeah, like, it's almost like a tape recording. Like, it never does it, like, you can't interact with it. It can't interact with you. It doesn't, no matter whether you're there or not.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a theory that I've heard actually like quite a bit, where
Yeah.
it's like, because I remember I saw some story about
I mean,
somebody saying
there's people who say that, like, energy can transfer to water, and, like, water has memories.
that I think is
You
dumb,
know what I mean?
but
Like, that, like, it's kind of the same concept where it's like energy can, like, get imprinted into stuff.
well, because I remember seeing this thing where somebody had said that they were staying at a place
This is way out
and
there.
like an apartment or something like that. Well, because the theory that I'm about to get to, like it's similar to what you were just saying about
They say,
like
yeah,
the tape
sounds
recording,
too.
but what would happen was like in this kid's room, um, the toys would like move around and stuff like that, and like you would go into the room and like toys would move around a little bit, and then eventually they kind of went, okay, if this is a ghost, it's probably a kid. So they would say, hey, stop that, stop messing with the toys, and it would just stop. Where it's like a kid from like, you know, 50 years ago that was living in that same place was like, who the heck just said that? And then was like, all right,
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna
get what you're
stop.
saying.
Yeah, where it's like you're
Almost
interacting with
like,
a moment in
yeah,
time.
that's trippy.
Yeah,
That,
that would make a lot of
yeah,
sense, but that's
that's getting
that
way.
is out
That's,
there.
yeah. It's everything we're talking about right now. It's like way
At
out
that
there.
point, it's
But I
not
mean,
even
like,
like ghosts, it's like
it's the same thing
time
with
travel.
sounds. So, like, I've heard stories where, like, there's all kinds of famous accounts, right, of, like, really haunted places. Like, there's this place. I don't know if it was a hospital, or I don't know. This is a story that I can't trace. I don't know nothing. I just remember hearing it several times, kind of like folklore. When I was in Washington, okay, because Washington,
Washington
eh,
State, by the way.
yeah, Washington State, yeah. There's some older buildings out there and stuff. Um, I think it was at a buddy's. No, 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 no. I was at a party, and somebody was talking about how he was like, yeah, like, my girlfriend works at this. She works at, like, some clinic or hospital or whatever, and it's haunted or something like that. And we're like, what? And so she's telling this story about how, like, some lady went crazy and, like, threw her baby into, like, a dryer or something, right? And so, like, they say that, like, at night sometimes you can hear the baby crying or something, right? Like, from that area where the
Uh,
like, in the laundry room. And so, like, it's like one of those things where it's like sounds and, like, stuff like that can kind of, like, you can't do anything, you can't interact with it, but, like, it'll happen whether you're there or not. You know what I mean? Like, those kinds of things. Like, it would make sense
yeah.
why people hear and see things all the time, but it never goes beyond that. It's just, I saw something, I heard something, you know, but it's never
I
like,
mean,
oh, something touched. Sometimes people are like, oh, something touched me, you know. But I feel
well,
like
cause
things touch me all the time, and I'm like, what the hell, you know?
well, like I bet you it's because you know how they always say like,
I mean,
oh,
not all the time, but, like,
humans are like, I mean, technically we're 4D, but like we live in a 3D world,
dimensions.
right? And so it's almost like saying like certain
Okay, can you explain to me the difference between 3D and 4D?
3D is like, okay, so we have to go to basics, okay? 1D is just like a straight line, okay? That's all you see, right?
Yeah, 2D
2D is when you
2D
have
is like a square.
shapes, like flat shapes. So like a piece of
Yeah,
paper, if I draw a square on it, that's 2D, right? 3D is when you have
a
not
cube.
only length. Yeah, it's so you have length, width, and then or well, no, it's length, width, and then height. So you have three dimensions, right?
Right.
And 4D would be now you have that and time.
Okay, so that's the difference. Is time is added.
Time is added, yeah.
Damn, that's
And
such a huge
so,
jump. You go from like a line, a square to a cube, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, and now time.
but it makes sense though because
Eh,
like I mean
well, is there infinite dimensions? Isn't that the
that
theory?
is no because okay, you're thinking of like parallel universes,
Okay, yeah, parallel universes.
which that I think that's the fifth dimension. I think. I think it's what it is.
Well, because
But
like people are like Alex Jones and people like that, like talk about interdimensional beings and stuff like that.
yeah, and that's the thing that they're using dimensional in I think the sense of like 4D beings where it's people who can not only travel length, width and height, but also time.
Time travelers.
Essentially like but I mean it'd be like if
Oh, we have to do an episode on time travel.
I would love to do that. I would
Yeah, maybe
love
that'll
to
be the
do that.
next one.
Maybe or we could do well, we'll figure it out.
There's
We'll figure it out.
so many topics that we can get into with this
Yeah.
stuff. It's
Um
awesome.
but overall like that's actually probably in my opinion the most credible explanation is like the idea of it being a time thing and not like a ooh it's
Yeah,
energy. It's
like it
like
like
if
almost
something
it gets
got stuck.
something so horrible happens that like it almost imprints in
Well,
time.
I don't think it has to necessarily be horrible. It's just that when it is horrible, it's
Significant?
freaky.
Something
Not even
significant
no
happens?
something because it's like okay if a freaking star blows up in the middle of the universe, right? That's significant. Why doesn't that just keep happening over and over again? Like why don't we hear echoes of that? That's pretty significant, right? A kid playing with toys is not significant. Yet in that scenario, like it kept happening. I think it just happens. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
sometimes stuff just gets stuck.
like there's no yeah, okay. I've just
Like it
always
just
heard it associated with like oh something like
oh
people died
well,
here.
what I'm saying is
So
like because for starters, like
I mean, you know
okay,
that it's like a law now that like when you buy a house, they have to
oh
tell
you
you
have
if
to
somebody died there.
disclose, yeah,
Yeah, because like
um,
it has to do with religion and stuff. So
yeah, well, because what I was gonna say is like if something like that was to happen, right? What are you more likely to notice? Some kid playing with toys or somebody? It's like the sounds of like a baby crying. You're gonna notice a baby crying, especially if there's no babies there, not some kid
yeah,
playing
I
with
gotcha.
toys, right? And so I think it's just a matter of like what's more noticeable. That's it. But uh, I don't think it's dependent on
Yeah, no,
something significant
like
happening in the
okay.
first
So
place.
like, do you think that they're? Because I've also heard the theory that like the longer somebody has like lived somewhere, like the more time they spent somewhere, the more likely they are to like still be attached to it after they die or something. You know,
That I've heard, um, but I that
there's no like explanation to it. It's just like
yeah.
a theory. You know, like the more like if somebody lived in a house for like 50 years and then all of a sudden they like die in the house, like because they lived there so long, like they're not gonna want to leave. You know,
Well,
or
I
like their
mean, because
spirit or whatever. You know.
I think the idea of like ghosts sort of being attached to stuff and that's why they don't leave. That's another good theory, just because of the fact that you know why else would they stay here if the
Yeah.
afterlife is so good? Why would they stick around here? It's like they have unfinished business. You know what I mean? But that's a
Yeah.
pretty common thing they
I
bring
mean,
up in movies and stuff.
I feel like the most common thing I hear, and it's an ugly thing to talk about, obviously, but like the most common thing I always hear is people associate a place being haunted with like somebody killing themselves in that house for some reason.
That's
It's
true.
very common for people
Yeah.
to try and connect those two,
Well,
and
it's
I
it's
don't.
either it's either suicide or murder. It's
Yeah,
one or
it's
the other
usually
usually.
it's like yeah, those two extremes.
Yeah. But I mean, because makes sense. It's I mean, if in the sense that it's like if it's a significance thing, definitely. But if it's like just something like once again that kid playing with toys. I don't know if that's a legit story, right? Like it could just be someone making something up.
Yeah, it's very generic story, you know?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so but so is, oh well, someone died in this house. So it there's a lot of things it could be. I mean, how about this? What about like
So, oh, did you hear about the Annabelle doll?
no.
The Annabelle doll is missing, dude.
What the heck? Hold on.
Yeah. I forgot about that. We were talking about that.
Oh, oh, I know that. Oh, no. That's that. Oh, it says, thankfully, the real Annabelle doll hasn't escaped from the War Museum because, as Newsweek reports, oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, the museum just closed, bro.
I heard that it was missing. Like the
This,
doll's
th-
gone.
this, this says August 14th, 2020. Yeah, the museum closed in 2017 due to zoning violations.
Okay, so debunked. The actual doll has not escaped.
That'd be creepy though, man. Ugh.
Social media believes the real doll has been let loose because we talked about that back around this time on Instigators podcast.
Mm.
Um, we definitely got to get him on.
Well, okay, because you know what I was thinking with the energy thing. If we ever do another ghost episode, I want Ankle Banger on for that,
Why? Because he's super into like
like energy and stuff like that.
astral projection and stuff.
Yeah, he would probably know something about that, man.
Dude, okay, like okay, it's one thing to like think the astral projection is real, but like if it is real, I wouldn't want to do it. That's scary. Like what? 'Cause to me, it's like your presence or soul or whatever is leaving your body, right? You're having an out of body experience, right? To
Oh
me,
yeah, like
to me the idea of not being able to get back in scares me way too much to like ever want to do
oh yeah,
it.
yeah, that's a good point. Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like once again, if we had him on, he'd probably explain
Hmm.
like maybe because for all that we know, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's people who couldn't get back into their bodies. That would be, cause dude, but you know what though? Maybe he has a point. We're just stupid, you know? Like,
No, I'm not saying I have no idea if it's real or not. I'm just saying if it is, like, I mean, he's got balls for like doing it purposely because like I would never want to do it.
yeah,
I have no
yeah,
desire to leave my body and float around.
it might be cool the first time, but that's it. I don't know.
I
But
he said it's like the first couple times that I think he said the first couple times it was super hard to like he felt it happening and then like got pulled back in like right away because like he realized it was happening and got
oh, like
excited.
lucid dreaming, sort
Yeah,
of
kind of like
like
lucid
where,
dreaming.
yeah,
Like people always complain that like they start dreaming and like they know that it's happening, but they get so excited and start trying to change stuff that it snaps them out of it.
yeah.
So
Um, that might be exactly what it is, and
so
like that sort of thing. But I mean, he would know way
the
more than we
human
would.
mind, the brain, is a very interesting, very. There's so many questions we still haven't answered about how the brain works and stuff. You know.
And honestly, that's probably the last theory for ghosts is just that it's, you know what? It's just people like having little quirks in their brain where something happens and their brain immediately goes to,
I have
the
hiccups.
extreme of, I can tell.
That
But
that, that
like,
was little man this morning. In one of the TikTok
the-
videos. He's like, I got hiccups.
dude, hiccups freaking suck, man. I like, okay, off
Now we're
topic.
talking. Yeah, off
Dude,
topic.
mom made me think that she was having like a stroke or something one time when I had the hiccups. Cause I don't know, like I don't. That's the
Oh,
best
because
way.
she tried to scare you to get you to
Yeah,
stop.
she literally, we're talking and then I had hiccups and she just stares at me and doesn't say anything for like 2 minutes straight. And dude,
Dude,
I
you
like
know what she did to me?
what?
I busted my ass like mowing lawns and like doing things to earn like extra allowance or like extra money. Like I sold stuff. I think I did all kinds of stuff to get the money together to buy the prestige edition of Modern Warfare 2. Okay. And I got hiccups one time, and it was like a week or two before that was coming out, and like that's all I was talking about. I wouldn't shut up about it, right?
Uh-huh.
And she turns, she goes, "You can't get it," and I have the hiccups. And I was like, "What do you mean? I already paid for it.
Oh
Like I already
no.
ordered it." And she's like,
Uh,
"You're not getting it." And I was just like, "But why? This?" And then she's like, "Are your hiccups gone?" And I was like,
dude,
"They're
I hate
gone."
when she does. I hate when she does that, man. I hate it, dude, cause she's so good at that too. Dude, like I remember one time we were gonna go on a trip. It was for church. It was it was one of the camps, but she said that someone else was gonna drive us, and it was someone that I didn't trust. And I was like, okay, I'm not going. She and then like, cause she said that I said I wasn't gonna go, and then she's like, well, no, you still have to go. We already paid for it, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I was like, like, what are we gonna do? And then saying that she was, are your hiccups gone? I was like, you're freaking kidding me, dude. Like, you
Yeah,
can't do that because it freaks me out. But, anyways,
yeah.
I was gonna
It's
say,
supposed to. That's what she's. That's the whole purpose. It
I was gonna
works,
say,
dude. It
it
works.
does,
Cause
it does.
like I had those hiccups. I had them for like 10 minutes. They would not go away.
Okay. How about this? How about this? Okay. So I'll say one joke theory, and then I'll get to the theory I was gonna get to before.
Okay.
Joke theory is every single ghost is just the hiccups being scared out of somebody, and it's that person in that moment of time. That's what it is. How about that? The hiccup theory.
You just made that up right now. You just pulled that out of
I
your
said it was a
ass.
joke theory, bro.
Yeah, I know.
uh, but no, the real theory would be it's probably just most of us, going to the extreme. It's like, you think you hear somebody screaming, it's just, oh, it's the house settling, that kind of thing. That's probably what it is. But I think it'd be of all theories that I would say would be the coolest. I think that time one would be awesome. That'd
Yeah.
be freaking crazy, dude. Because first off, that would totally change science as we know it, and also, I mean, what does that mean for us, bro? Like,
one of my favorite sayings is "You look like you saw a ghost,"
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's like, dude, you look so like weirded out or scared. They're like, it looks like you saw something out of this world. You know,
yeah.
like
Because it's something you can't explain, right?
yeah, like
Um,
okay, example. Like I'll say my wife. She we were in San Francisco. She was visiting, and we went to Twin Peaks, which is like this. There's
that
like two
mall,
big
right?
no. There's two big hills. No, not the freaking mall from Back to the Future. Uh, there's these two hills where like you climb up them. There's like steps that they put there. You go up there and you can see the whole city. Okay, at night it's really pretty, but it's super notorious for people breaking into your cars there. And you might remember this. So she left her purse under the seat, and you could kind of see it. And so when we walked back, and it's super dark out there, there's no lights. We walked back down the hill. Excuse me. We walked back down the hill, and she just stops and says, "Oh my gosh, babe," but like scared, and like I thought she had seen a dead body or something. You know, the way that she had said it. Like I thought the
uh,
worst. I was like, because it's dark out there, it's spooky.
yeah.
Um, but it was just my car window was broken. You know, but like that's what I think of. Like the way she sounded and stuff. It was like she saw a ghost. Like that's how her voice and everything. You know.
Why do I remember your car window getting broken twice?
Okay, so my car window got broken, and then um, my windshield got chipped. Like on the way back from a jujitsu meet.
Oh, okay.
Mom and dad, yeah, mom and dad were we stopped at like Olive Garden, and I was like, dude, a freaking rock hit my window. And dad was like, you got to get that fixed. If you don't get that fixed, the whole thing's gonna break. Like, cause it can like stress cracks, like you'll just be driving, all of a sudden your whole window will crack.
Yeah. I. Bottom line is, do you think ghosts are real?
I'm 50-50. I'm leaning more towards no.
I think so. I
Okay,
think
I'm 60-40. 60 no, 40, yes.
I don't think they're real, man. I mean,
I'm
if they
I'm
were,
I keep an open mind.
if they were, the theory that I once again, and I keep bringing it up, but I think it's because it to me it's like the most logical one, considering how little like really see ghosts. That time one, because it has to be something that's kind of rare, right?
Yeah.
But it also seems like, I mean, I can't think of any stories from like before the
I mean, like I
1500s
said, I
that are
told
about ghosts.
I told the story about how the plates and stuff, like the
Yeah,
like I said, I still in my mind I'm like, it might have just been a prank, because
which Nana would do that.
yeah,
I could see her doing it.
I could see you trying to scare us, but the dog barking and stuff like that, like
Well,
that was one of
dude,
the most that was probably one of the, besides like search and rescue cases like in the middle of the night and stuff like that, was probably the most scared I think I've ever been.
that's the thing though, man. Like, okay, when I go to the bathroom in the middle of the night,
Eh,
Maya will bark like crazy. So
Yeah,
I'm sure the same thing is like, because I doubt
yeah,
Nana's gonna
but I was
leave
gonna
just
say that's
middle of the
another
night like
thing
that.
is that when people get scared, their mind goes into the worst case scenario type stuff. So like you could hear
Yeah,
like the house settling, but just because you are scared, you're like, oh my gosh, somebody's in the house.
yeah, that's
You
what I was
know?
saying before. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying.
So,
Yeah. So
um,
your mind definitely
plays
plays
tricks on you
tricks
and
on
stuff
you.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, sometimes like you hear a sound and it's like, what the heck was that? Because you can't think of what it could have possibly been. And so that's when your mind goes there. But it's like it just depends on the situation. I think if you heard footsteps, it had to have been Nana, dude. Because what I'm saying is like
It was like thud creak, thud creak, thud creak, like it was very slow and heavy, and
you know
like I
what,
had never heard anything like that in that house.
dude, you said it was around Christmas, right? With
Santa
Santa.
Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but
You know
the
what?
thing was like the dog barked and growled at the door,
Oh,
and then as soon as it stopped, the dog like kind of mellowed out.
well, yeah, but like I said, man, like I when I
Okay,
go in the
what
bathroom, well, let me
what
finish. Let me finish. Let me
one thing
finish.
that
Let me finish.
freaks me
Let me
out
finish.
though
Let me
is
finish.
dogs and cats like barking and whining at the corners of the room, dude.
They bark at nothing, dude.
Y-
There's times where we see ducks outside and they freak out because oh duck, it's a duck. Bark at it. But let me see what I was gonna say because I'm
okay,
trying to say it in the
good.
past 5 minutes. Okay,
All right,
is
podcast over. No, I'm just kidding.
no, shut up. Wait, when when I go to the bathroom at like midnight because I stay up a lot, right?
Yeah,
Maya, you hear woo, woo, she freaks out, and
yeah.
it's because if it's pitch black, she's not gonna know what the heck is crawling around in the middle of the night, you know?
She's a
And
scaredy
so,
cat.
well, she's the only one that does it usually. So yeah, I think she's just a scaredy cat. But I'm assuming that I don't even remember what that dog's name was, but I yeah, I don't remember it. But I'm assuming it's the same thing because I highly doubt that Nana was gonna, or I highly doubt that Nana comes out of her room at night very often, and so I'm sure it was something where the dog was kind of like, the heck, who's gonna be out here right now? Like this is not the time when people are outside of the rooms and stuff, you know? Like
The dog's just like, what the f, man?
I mean, like, cause if you're not expecting it, of course you're gonna be scared, right? And so I'm assuming it's the
Yeah,
same thing for dogs. So
yeah. I don't know. But yeah, no, that's always creeped me out. Is like when people are like talking about how like their dog was barking at the ceiling or their cat wouldn't stop like hissing at the corner of the room or stuff like that.
like I
Because
said,
they say that like they're sensitive to stuff or whatever. But
yeah, but dogs will bark at stupid crap all the time. So I mean, I see both sides because
I
it's
wanted
like,
to
oh,
I want
what are
I wanted
they?
to I wanted to mention something, by the way, because you talked about
What?
Maya. Maya's one of the family dogs, by the way, Basset Hound.
Mhm.
Uh,
She big.
so Sammy sleeps in the bed, right? Like he'll sleep at the foot of the bed, or like he was sleeping like up on the pillows, like by our heads, but he's gotten too big now. Like it's too uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Like because of the it's once it got to the point where like I would roll over and I hear because like I like put my hand on like his leg or something. um, he stopped doing it. But like the other morning, I wake up because my alarm goes off, and I look, and he like yawns. He like moves over to me, lays down, yawns, and I'm petting him, and then he like stretches, and he got like a cramp, and he's like,
Dude, that's how you know when
but
families.
like immediately stopped because it stopped once he moved.
Dude, no, okay. This is a little gross, but Fenway. So he wasn't feeling good the past couple weeks
Yeah, right, because
because
he
he
had
freaking
swallowed, yeah, piece
he
of
swallowed a
metal.
chunk of aluminum, and so at the beginning he was sleeping in my room, and um he didn't seem right, like he wasn't falling asleep or whatever, and so I was like, what the heck? So I left him there, and I was doing some homework, and um like it was just super quiet, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna check on Fenway. Like I just turn, and I just see him standing there like right by my pillow, and I was like, what the heck is he doing? And I thought about it, and I was like, oh, don't tell me. I go over there, and he just threw up in my bed, man.
Oh,
Yeah, I
poor
was like,
dog.
god dang it. So I take him out, and as I'm getting paper towels and stuff to clean up the throw up in my bed, he just threw up on the stairs.
Oh, he was not feeling good.
He wasn't feeling good, but I was like, god dang it. It was like 2 in the morning, dude. So I had to clean all this crap up, and I did not sleep that night, man. But
Yeah.
not long
I just
after
see a
that,
can
yeah.
of Raid behind you.
Yes, because there's freaking cockroaches, bro. I've had 2 in the past like month because it's getting warm again.
Yeah.
So they're starting to like, yeah. And bottom line is roaches are nasty. So is dog throw up. But
We went super
I'm
off topic, but
yeah, man. I mean,
um
technically we're allowed to talk about that stuff
yeah,
because
we
it's
talk
just a
about whatever.
podcast.
Yeah.
But my poor dog, man. He's feeling
Well,
better now, by the way.
I'm glad he's fine now. So that sucks. But
Anyways, I think now's a
yeah, I think it's a good time to end
time.
it. We'll discuss what we're gonna talk about next. We'll take the comments into consideration. If there's something you want to
I
talk about or hear us talk about,
I would say recommend some guests as well
oh
if you
yeah,
would
yeah.
like. Um, like I said, I mean, uh, Gator. I
Gator,
want Ankle
ankle
Banger
banger.
on. Um, so yeah, I mean, if you guys have any suggestions, just leave them in the comments. Or you can even put them on TikTok if you
If you
if you
know
wanted
any
to.
content creators, streamers, whatever that like talk about conspiracy type stuff, I'll check it out.
Yeah,
If
but
you're willing.
next guest is Joe Rogan. No.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. Yeah,
Joe
no.
Rogan.
But anyways,
Rogan. Yeah,
I guess we'll go ahead and end it there. All right.
sounds good.
Until the next one.
Later, guys.
Peace.